listening to Those Dad Guys, because the moms have their podcasts, so why shouldn't we? Huh? Here are Joe Seiler and Paul Black, Those Dad Guys.
What's going on, everybody? We are Those Dad Guys. Thanks for joining us again, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, YouTube. Thanks for finding us on Twitter. You can get us at Those Dad Guys. Same thing on Instagram, and you can find us on Facebook and all those other places. So.
Wow, that's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. Thanks for handling that one.
You know what? No problem. But I'll tell you, it's been a day already, Paul. So put the dishwasher on today. Dishwasher's leaking. Awesome. Then I come in just before we start the show. Yeah, spider crawls right across my desk. I'm like, that's wonderful.
One more thing.
This is going to be a great day.
That's it. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So hand washing for now, eh?
Oh my goodness. What a day already. But that's okay. You know what? We're here. We're doing another show, and I'm happy. Episode 5.
That's it. Oh, 5. We're still alive. We're kicking. We're doing it. We're having a good time. More things to celebrate. As some of you may know, it was Joe's birthday on Tuesday. Yes. So happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
How'd you celebrate?
It was good. Like, in the world we live in now, we didn't, you can't go out and do all kinds of stuff. So we stayed in. It was kind of low key, but really cool. So, my wife, Heather, made her first ever tiramisu.
Ooh.
She said, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for a birthday cake? And, normally I'm a big cheesecake fan. Okay. So she makes me like a caramel apple cheesecake to die for every year. And I'm like, yeah. So this year I'm like, you know what? I want a tiramisu. Mm-hmm. She'd never made one before. Okay. My cousin makes a killer tiramisu, my cousin Christine. And so she texted Christine right away. She's like, I need your recipe for tiramisu. So she made it. And it was good.
Really, eh?
Yeah, except it was the biggest tiramisu I've ever seen. And there's only 4 of us in the house and only 2 of us eat it.
5.
But I made a lot of espresso that night.
So. Of course.
Yeah. So I kind of helped to make it because I made the espresso, but a lot of espresso, but she did a great job.
Let's be clear for a second. There was 4 of you that could enjoy the tiramisu at the house.
That's right. The baby's not going. Thank you, Paul. The baby's not going to eat the tiramisu. But yes, I could see how I could get in trouble for that one. So thank you.
Just looking out.
And she said, what do you want for dinner? And every year it's like, no, if I don't go out, I make my own dinner. I don't need someone else. I make dinner in the house 94% of the time. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I want steak. I'm going to barbecue. I want steak. So I did. And we got some nice steaks and I put them on the grill. And I think my kids realized that, it's a crappy way to spend a birthday. You know what I mean? So what they did is they got together while I was down here barbecuing and doing all kinds of stuff. They got together and they basically decorated the upstairs where we eat as like a restaurant. So they called it steaks.
Nice.
They put menus on the table. And I'll put some pictures up on Facebook, Instagram. Probably, Paul, you're gonna have to help me with Twitter because I really don't get it. No. We'll get some pictures up on that. But they had menus. They put out like glasses and everything, and they dressed up like servers, like white dress shirts and black pants and everything. So I came up to bring the steaks to the kitchen, and I put them, and they're like, okay, now you have to go to the front door. I'm like, what? I have to go to the front door. So they had to greet us.
Nice. Okay.
So we walk in. It's like, so Heather and I walk in, and then Anthony has programmed the Google Home. He's like, Google, where should these people sit?
Come on.
And then Google goes, there's a seat right over here, Anthony. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is legit.
Right?
How
do you do that?
I don't know. It makes no sense. But it was cool. So we went and sat down. Now, they didn't think of all the logistics of everything. Like
they're not a 4 Michelin star. Is that what you're saying?
They're not quite yet. But the menu did not include everything I made. So there was some kind of a la carte things, I guess, if you will. Mm-hmm. But it was really great. You know what I mean? According to the menu, the steak cost $100 and the potatoes cost $50.
Yeah.
And if you wanted a glass of milk, that was also $50. So some pricing kind of, maybe some issues, but all things aside, it was super cool. The kids did a great job. It made me feel real good. Even Maverick sat in a high chair for the first time at the table with us. And we set up a Zoom meeting on the table, and then my family all kind of got together. There was like in 4 different households and sang happy birthday to me, which was it was kind of nice. So an interesting way to spend 43, but kind of cool. It was kind of fun, and it felt real special. Like the kids put a lot of work into it, and like I said, I'll put some stuff up on the Facebook page. And
yeah, you got to put up that picture of your plate, because when you sent it to me, that does look like $150 meal. And
I'm not gonna lie to you. They actually put the plate together, because I said to them, make sure my plate looks really nice, because I'm going to put this sucker up on Facebook. And they're like, okay. Awesome. And they put the plate together. It was really nice. Now, we've watched a lot of cooking shows together over the years. They have an idea of how to like wipe the plate down and everything like that. They did really well. So it was awesome.
That's awesome. That's nice. Good.
Thinking about, so at 43 on your birthday, we get to the age now where it's like you kind of looking back at things, right? Mm-hmm. So I started thinking about concerts and stuff. Like I've been to a few concerts on my birthday. Like I saw the Tea Party one year and Rusty. I don't know if you remember the band Rusty.
Of course.
The Tea Party and Rusty at Front 54 in Thorold on my birthday one year, and we were like right up front. It was super cool. But I started seeing people all over Facebook, because they're looking for things to do now, talk about like what are your favorite concerts and what are your most memorable concerts. And I thought that might be a good idea to kind of have a chit chat about this week about memorable concerts, and like I have a few that like I can say, yeah, I really, really remember this. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about you. Like, what about you? Do you like? Are you a concert goer? Like, did you go to a lot of concerts, or?
I went to a lot of concerts in my college years and in my 20s and stuff like that, and dabbled during. And it's funny when you bring it up. The first memory hits up. The first time I ever saw Goldfinger, which is for those who don't know, first of all, because Superman is in Tony Hawk Pro Skater. But anyways, I saw them in St. Catharines at the Vault.
The Vault.
Yeah, St. Paul Street. Across the street was a pizza. A large stairs you go up, and you have a good time. Why it's memorable is a couple reasons. So the first reason is the lady that I went with decided to sneak alcohol in a bottle.
Oh,
and I never really drank in college.
So how old were you? Would you say you were? 20?
19, maybe 19, 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I never really drank in college anyways, maybe like 3 times a year I'd get tuned up just for my buddies to have a good time, really. Yeah. But, so we went, and I'm pretty sure the Planet Smashers were opening. And then she was twisted. So I had to bring her home. And back in those days, you bring them home, and then you can go back with your ticket stub and get back in the concert.
You did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
So then watch the show. Amazing show. Love Goldfinger. Love them. After the show, tour bus. I was in radio in college, broadcasting. After the show, my buddies and I went to the tour bus, got on the tour bus, did a little interview with John Feldman, and the rest of the band's in there. And
hold on, John Feldman, is he the lead singer? Or?
Sorry, yeah, lead singer.
Some of us, I know Goldfinger, but I don't know every member of the band.
He's the lead singer. He actually produces a ton of records too. He's done Good Charlotte, Ashley Simpson, Ashley Tisdale.
Sure.
Anyways, so we were on the bus. There was Doritos and drinks all around. It was time of my life. It was amazing. But the rock show and the after hours tour bus interview was lights out. What about you?
Yeah, there's a few on my list. I figure you want to go back and forth on this one? Let's go back and forth.
Let's do it, man, because the memories are flowing.
All right, let's go back and forth a little bit on this one. All right, so I had to talk about my first concert. Okay, so I was a kid, and it would have been in the 80s, late 80s. And yeah, I remember Kingswood Music Theater at Canada's Wonderland.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So my uncle, okay, follow me here. My uncle's brother's wife.
You're so Italian.
Right? Was like,
you sounded like my mom there for a second. My mom's brothers, uncles, dogs, babysitters, napping.
She was like in charge of like the not ticketing, but like she got us tickets.
Nice.
Okay. Belle Biv Devoe.
Ooh.
Another Bad Creation.
Come on.
En Vogue.
Yeah.
And someone else that I'd never heard of. But I was the biggest Belle Biv DeVoe, and we're like, I was a huge Belle Biv DeVoe fan. Just like I had like the painted overalls and everything like that. Like no joke. Yeah. And me and my buddy were like, I cannot believe that this show, like this is crazy. This show to us, like Another Bad Creation.
That's it.
You know, but it was the first concert we'd ever been to, and we like stood on our chairs the whole time. And we had like 7th row seats.
Holy
like
jeez.
The amount of concerts I went to at Kingswood, because it was a cool venue. And I mean, you could go to Wonderland and ride like Wild Nightmares, that one that spins around and then goes up and you get like, you feel sick. That's fine. You could do that and then go to the concert. And like I've seen like, Bare Naked Ladies multiple times there. I saw like some R&B festival there too. Right. Like, but that concert for me, it's the first, so it always sticks out in my mind. And I think about how cool it was to see, like at the time, my absolute favorite band that I'd ever seen. It was it was cool, man. It was and like those big group concerts where there's a bunch of different artists. I'm like, I could dig that. I could dig that. So. That was cool, and getting free tickets doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like,
you know what's fun?
Yeah, go. No, did you used to like stand in line at like Sunrise Records to get concert tickets all the time?
I'm telling you, I never went to concerts when I was a kid. Never. My dad brought me to Bare Naked Ladies, but our big claim to fame with my dad and myself going to concert was the Festival of Friends at Gage Park because it was free. Right? So you see Moxie Fruvis and all these people.
Hey. Once they were the king of Spain.
It's true. Now they eat humble pie, just so you know. So based on your story, I'm going to jump over to the concert I did not go to. And obviously you're going to tell in my voice that I'm still not impressed by it. So my uncle had a buddy who was big ups in the Usher, not Usher the musician, but an Usher at Cops Coliseum.
Yeah.
Now First Ontario. So he got tickets for my cousin, Melissa and Jacqueline, for New Kids on the Block.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I was into New Kids on the Block.
Don't lie. Wear that like a badge.
I was so pissed off that I didn't get the invite. Like, I'm pretty sure I still hold them accountable to this day that I never got to see New Kids on the Block with them. And it was at a time where they would let the kids into the concert hall or into their seats.
Yeah.
And they would have a separate place for the parents just to chill.
Come on.
Yeah. So there was only the kids that needed a concert ticket.
No.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it was crazy.
That doesn't seem right.
I don't know. Melissa, Jacqueline, if you guys are listening, can you tweet us or put it on Facebook if Uncle Mike and Aunt Teresa got a special seating area? Maybe it was just for them because they were special. So it was only their parents that got the
Look, chime in here because that sounds wrong. Because all the moms love New Kids on the Block too. Let's not kid ourselves.
Fair.
They want to,
please don't go, girl.
Copyright claim. Be careful.
Sorry. So that's my never have. It's still memorable because I'm upset about it.
You love have you not gone to see New Kids on the Block since they've been back?
No, never.
Come on.
No, we don't live in the past at this house.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Another cool place, like for me, I look at venues, right? Like venues that were cool. And I also look, okay. So I loved going to Molson Park for concerts in Barrie, because festival concerts for me were some of the coolest things. Because again, like I said in the last one, you're going to see a theme with me. I like to see a lot of bands. Okay. So like, not just like, don't get me wrong. Like if I'm going to see Oasis or something like that, and it's just Oasis, that's cool. Saw them with Corner Shop at Maple Leaf Gardens too, by the way. But Molson Park was cool because, first of all, it would take forever to drive there, because as you got close to Molson Park, everyone was going to Molson Park in Barrie. But once you got into the parking lot, you could basically hang, because it was a field, and you could just get banged up in the parking lot with, so that we'd have like cases of beer in the trunk, and we'd go up in carloads, right? So one that I remember, it was 96 Edge Fest. Oh, nice. Okay. Like, it was a crazy, like, I looked up the lineup because I couldn't remember everyone, but Weeping Tile, Rusty, Big Sugar, all Canadian bands. Are you sure you're not going just to see Rusty? No. Okay. Rusty was like on a side stage. So, you know what? I was not a big Rusty fan. I had friends that loved Rusty, but I'm like, I know like 2 songs, guys. That's it. Killjoys were there. 13 Engines, Ashley McIsaac, I Mother Earth, 5440, and the Tea Party. Okay, I am big into Canadian 90s tunes, man. Love it. So I mean, that lineup for me is like a dream lineup. I Mother Earth was crazy. I was like, so I'm like 19 at this point, right? Like 19, maybe 20. And I'm like mosh pitting and doing all this, and I was like a little skinny waif. So mosh pitting scared the heck out of me, and like crowd surfing and stuff, but it was like super fun. And it, and then you could like walk around, cause they had like vendors and stuff like that, which was always pretty cool. So walking around and people doing all kind of like hacky sacks and stuff like that. Oh man. Let me ask you before you go on, was it Edwin, I Mother Earth? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So it was like right after it was like the album with Dig. I don't even remember what that album was called, but that album. Is that Scenery and Fish or something like that? No. Scenery and Fish was after that one. Okay. So, but it was right before Scenery and Fish, I think. But it was definitely Edwin, and they were heavy. They were heavy. So, it's funny. I was just talking about hacky sack. My wife created me a playlist on Spotify that is called Hacky Sack, and it's basically all 90s like rock. There is some Goldfinger, there's some Alice in Chains, but there's a lot of Canadian stuff too. Wow. But for me, the coolest thing about that concert was, because it always goes into the night, right? And the Tea Party headlined it. Okay. And I was a big Tea Party fan. And they do one song called Drawing Down the Moon. Okay. And it was dark, and the moon was in the back, big. And it was just an amazing kind of thing when they're playing that song, and the moon's wide. It was cool. It was cool. It was always a long day at Molson Park. But yeah, I mean, Molson Park, Markham Fairgrounds. I even went to like the Friendship Festival in Fort Erie. Okay. Which was another cool festival. Again, just like the Canadian stuff, but Canada Day festivals were always some of the coolest too, like Roadside Attraction with the hip and stuff like that. So I kind of, I miss Molson Park, which I think there's like a Home Depot there now. So I miss that, but I'm also 43, so I can't go to those festivals. Right. And so this is what's interesting. So you're into the festivals. I'm not so much. Like, I've gone to festivals. I've gone to Vans Warped Tour. Somersault was fantastic. The first Somersault, when Rain Maida had a hissy fit because he wasn't hearing his monitor, and he made the whole crowd sing. Way to go. Yeah. And the amount of times I saw Our Lady Peace is like, I can count on two fingers. And I think no, maybe I'm wrong. I was going to say the Chemical Brothers, but I might be mixing up festivals. But the festivals only give you a sampling of their show. That's why I'm more of a go see the performer and the group and have those memories, because they're playing for a hell of a lot longer than the 30 to 40 minute sets, maybe at most in a festival. Well, I've seen the Beastie Boys in a festival setting, and I've seen their own show. But I think for me, well, I've seen a lot of those bands in both. And I think for me, it's like, I don't mind seeing the festival because, like I said, I like to see a lot of bands at once. But bands I love, I'm going to go see their show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Tea Party, I saw so many times, you know, like the Tragically Hip, I saw so many times.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're seeing a sampling of their show. But at the same time, I'm seeing the bands that I want to see.
Right.
And if someone's on stage that I don't care about, I'm going to walk around and whatever. But then when I want to see that band, I'm going to go buy tickets to their show. I'm going to stand in line at Sunrise Records and buy tickets for their show.
Nice. One festival I did go to that I have a big memory of, and I challenge any of you to search for this concert, because I'm going to promise you won't find anything on the internet. It was called Park Fest. If you can't find it on the internet, did it really happen? Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. So it was called Park Fest, and I think it was I'm going to go 1998. I was in Albany. I was working in radio out in Albany, New York. Not working, but interning. Anyway,
shout out to Albany, New York.
Oh man, I love it. I love it there. Anyways, it was Original P, Parliament Funkadelic, the Blue Oyster Cult, and then Amazing Crowns, Conehead Buddha, and Blink 182
in 98.
In 1998. So I'm going to show you. That's the backstage pass I had. If you're watching on YouTube, I suggest you take a look. On the back, probably because the lighting can't see, it's autographed.
Yep.
Travis Barker just joined the band. So I got to enjoy watching them from the stage. And this guy does not stop. He is probably one of the best drummers I've ever seen live. And he's probably one of the best drummers in the world. The cool thing too was hanging backstage before they went on and just eating those little breakfast portion sizes of Fruit Loops and cornflakes and things like that. But great guys, hung out. Travis Barker is a freaking monster, man.
Yeah.
So definitely brings me right back to that day. Didn't care about anybody else.
So it's you seem to go, like, concerts you went to, you seem to like have access, which is kind of cool. I'm a shady guy. Well, hey, whatever it takes, right? One day we'll talk about you and I going to a Blue Jays game together. But it's funny because when I worked, because I used to have some access too, and I went and saw, like, our radio station was presenting D12 with Eminem.
Come on.
Yeah, come on. Eminem didn't make it across the border. Neither did another guy from D12. So I brought Heather with me. We were dating at the time, and we have backstage access. So while you had Blink 182, I had D12.
Minus Eminem and the other most popular guy. So you essentially had nobody.
No, I had like D3.
Yeah, you did.
So, but the thing about it's like, I didn't even care to stay for the concert. Like, I was not a D12 fan. I liked Eminem, but what? Okay, fine. But we're backstage hanging, and one guy fires up, the Costco sized like salsa things that are like really big to have a handle.
Okay.
Like, it's like a jar of salsa, but it's like plastic, and it's got like a handle.
Yes.
One guy fires open one of those and starts drinking it.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Heather and I, we still tell stories about that all the time. The amount of like gin that they had was it's like gin and salsa. Right. So that is, by the way, not one of my most memorable concerts. It was a memorable moment. We brought them on stage and then like pretty much left. Yeah. Because I was like, it was in Toronto, and I was like, I just don't care to see D12 minus Eminem and another guy. Yeah. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So, but yeah, no, it's okay. So another one I went to, hey, you're going to be down with that. It was in Buffalo. Okay. Favorite place in the world. So instant good start, right? Yeah. So I talk about like standing in line for concert tickets. Well, this one, I couldn't stand in line for concert tickets here because it was in Buffalo. We had to go across the border. So me and a couple friends of mine, me and my friend Nick and my friend Joel, drove down to Buffalo in his Joel's Ford Festiva. I think we were in his Festiva at the time, this tiny little Festiva. And, you know, so we're driving down and we had to buy tickets at, I think it was at, I forget it was called the HSBC Arena at the time. I don't think that's what it's called now. It's called
KeyBank or something.
Yeah, I don't know, KeyBank or something. So we went down, but we had to buy tickets in advance. Okay, fine. So we went down and we were terrified. This part of town was so shady. And there's a guy we call Tony the Tiger because he's running around in this bright orange jumpsuit. I'm like, I do not want to get out of the car. So we bought the tickets, whatever. Okay, fine. We went to the show. This show was New Edition. Okay. And this is like reunion tour New Edition, but before Bobby Brown went crazy again and left. Okay. New Edition, no Keith Sweat though, but it was New Edition, Keith Sweat, and Blackstreet. Okay, so Keith Sweat didn't show up, but that's okay. New Edition was amazing. Now, like they were so good. They did all their individual stuff, and then they did stuff together. Blackstreet was super cool. We're sitting, we're sitting in the stands here, and the seats were pretty good. We were just pretty jacked to kind of see New Edition. Like this was such a good show, and it was a good show. But more than that, it was great for people watching. Okay. Like, people watching was crazy. There was a guy in like a bright maroon suit with a top hat and a cane beside us. Like just like 4 seats over. Like it's like full Pimp Daddy outfit. Okay? And like, but the other thing is, as we're walking in, like the amount of weaponry that like knives and stuff that were like dropped on the floor, it made me go, I don't know if I want to be here, but hey, maybe they're all on the floor. Wow. But Pimp Daddy next to us and watching all these other people just kind of, it was an adventure. Like there are different shows. Like I saw, it feels like all I watch is rap shows, but like I saw like Jay-Z, DMX, Method Man, and Redman when I was in college. And, that was a show because they opened the doors and they jammed, like it's like everyone rushed the doors at the ACC. Okay. And no, forget it. Like it's like the people that were like trying to pat people down, they're like, no, just go. Oh, and we saw a big fight at that one. Some guy fell down the stairs at the
fell down the stairs in air quotes.
I don't know. I don't know, but that was a cool show too. But I mean, the New Edition show I remember vividly because I was a big New Edition fan, even when I was young. And then when they came, I liked every artist. Again, Belle Biv DeVoe. Yeah. But I liked every artist in New Edition. So when they were reuniting. And then it was in Buffalo, so we had an adventurous story with Tony the Tiger in his bright orange jumpsuit coming running at us. So. That's
it. Yeah, it's funny. We're talking about bands we like. I'm going to tell you a band that I wasn't really that into. I was a bit in the 90s, but I'm telling you, growing up throughout high school, I was the guy who loved the hip hop, the hippity hop. I love the rap music. That's all I get. Everybody else to me was a skid. I was the only one in the high school that liked rap music, it seemed. So that was rough. But fast forward to 2005, working at the Best Buy, and a buddy of mine, Troy, he's here from Vancouver. So he moved here to live, but from Vancouver, and he really loves Pearl Jam. Wanted to go see a Pearl Jam show, and they were playing in Hamilton in September there. I'm like, you know what, man? I'll take the hit for you. I'll take the hit. I'll go with you.
You're a good guy.
You know, I like to do that, and it gives me something to do too, right? So I'm like, man, whatever, I'll go. So I went. They put on a show.
Pearl Jam?
We saw them at Cops Coliseum.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the Hamilton show. Amazing show. Amazing. They know, Eddie Vedder knows how to own an audience. That whole band is amazing.
I have seen Pearl Jam a lot. Like that's why when this whole thing happened, like I didn't get Pearl Jam tickets for this last tour. Right. So I'm kind of like happy that it didn't happen. So sorry, all you people that had Pearl Jam tickets. I don't feel that bad for you because I wasn't going. It was kind of a bummer. But I've seen Pearl Jam, and you're 100% right. I remember seeing them at the amphitheater one year, and the stage was facing out. I think if I remember correctly, the stage at the amphitheater faced out towards like the lake. and the grass was so.
Yes.
But over the crowd in the grass, it had to be like May 24 weekend or Canada Day or something, because fireworks started going off, or Benson and Hedges, one of those.
Yeah, Benson
and you
and
could
Hedges.
see Eddie Vedder because he always had his bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see him, and he's going over to the guys in the band and pointing over at the fireworks. And this was during the encore. It's like it was planned.
Yeah.
But I remember that show because they played over, because you know how they can only play till a certain time, right? They played over. I remember.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, you're 100% right with that. With Eddie Vedder knowing he knows how to work a crowd,
That's
man.
it, man.
He knows how to keep them.
Here's how it twisted me. So I'm loving it, eating it up. People are going nuts singing. Concert's done. And then something that some people that don't know about Pearl Jam concerts, but if you have a ticket stub, somehow you go on their website and you get that bootleg of that concert, which is awesome. So got that. The next time I heard that Pearl Jam was coming to town, they were doing a Canada only tour for Worldwide Suicide, I think. But I contacted my buddy Troy, or we were talking. I said, "Are we going to go back and see Pearl Jam? Because I'm ready." And this show was in Toronto.
Yeah,
I think a year or two later. I think maybe a year. But yeah, man, they turned me around. And you can see I'm wearing my Chicago stuff because my buddy Jeff McQuiggan told me that I'm wearing different sports. So I'm trying to keep it all solid today. I suggest anybody to watch. It's the Pearl Jam live at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Let's Play 2. I recommend you guys check that out.
Really good.
Anyways, back to concerts.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'll give you one more. We're talking most memorable. The Hips last concert in Toronto. Most memorable for a lot of reasons. Obviously, you knew Gord Downie was, pretty much going to pass away in the next little bit. So it was an opportunity to get together with a bunch of people that were just diehard Hip fans and kind of go back to like when we used to follow the Hip around big time, Tragically Hip. So to know that the significance behind that show, because of the show itself, but also because of, kind of what it meant and what the Tragically Hip meant to us in it's high school, realistically. High school into university was kind of when that kind of, but that show for me, it was an emotional show, which is, it's weird to say, right? Because it's like, whatever, right? I didn't know Gord Downie, but I think more it's the fact that kind of what it meant behind it. Like so we went to that show, me and a few friends, actually, we had a row. And then when they did the actual last show and they aired it on TV, we put a huge screen up in my buddy's backyard and we did it all up. There was 35 of us that we treated it as like a high school reunion almost. But that was a big one for me. That's most, if I want to talk about memorable, that's a memorable one for me because of everything that it meant, both for that show itself and look, they were still good. They were still good, whether, you may not be a Hip fan, but I was, and they put on a good show for a guy who you knew was not doing well.
Right.
A guy who was not doing well. They put on a good show. So, that for me, if we're talking most memorable, that is got to be right up there for me. Big time.
Nice. My final one, I'll tell you, is Buble.
Really?
Buble is, I'm going to say Buble is number one.
But he's a showman, right? I can imagine.
Yeah, he's awesome. We've seen him. I remember we saw him back to back. We did a London, Ontario show and then the Toronto show, or vice versa, whatever. And then I also had tickets to the Hamilton show, but I gave those to my parents because I figured three Bubles in the matter of a week and a half is a little too much Buble.
Well, that's when you're a stalker.
Well, okay, fair. Yeah. So
this was
here's
people to stalk.
Yeah. So here's what went down. So I bought tickets to Buble in Las Vegas at the Hilton for my wife for a Christmas present when we got back together the last time, and now we're married. So anyways, we
got back together, and now that's a story for a whole nother show.
It is. So anyways, we're flying out of Buffalo, and their chicken wing store is open, right? Their Anchor Bar. So I'm like, whatever, I'll choke down a couple of wings. Let's do it. I did it up. We're in the flight. We get to the airport. Something's just not feeling right. Something just ain't right.
Oh, no.
The first garbage can I see, it's gone. The food poisoning from the chicken wing in Buffalo.
No.
Yeah. So whatever. We make it to the hotel, whatever. Go to the room. I'm done. 2 days, I'm out. Right. And he's got a concert. So I went for fresh air and we got a picture of this. I had my hoodie on and I looked like ass. But we saw him in the lobby. So I'm like, can we take a picture? He's like, yeah, man, sure. So he wasn't known at this time. It was a small theater in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So anyways, got the picture with him and got to see the show, and the show was incredible. I was fine by the time he hit the stage. But man, to battle through 2 days of food poisoning in Vegas to see the show, that's what makes it number one in my head.
Yeah, yeah. And Buble's a showman too. Like that's...
Oh, yeah. Every time I go to the Buffalo airport now, because it's essentially where we exclusively fly out of, I always pass on the wings. I'm like, do you want to eat anything? Nah, I'm good. Well, let's wait till we land.
You know what? It's totally fun talking about these concerts and stuff. And look, if you're listening or watching, hop on our Facebook page, hop on Twitter at Those Dad Guys, hop on Facebook. Let us know some of your stories. Like we could tell our stories. I'm sure we could do like 4 episodes on this.
Easy.
But it's not just us. We want to hear tell us some of your fun stories or memorable stories of concerts, and whether it be ones we've talked about or your own. And really, because I mean, I love hearing people's stories about shows and Facebook's full of them.
Yeah. And it's amazing just how one memory goes to another to another. I can imagine the people listening, because they're going through what we did. They're thinking in their head, or they've been to the same show or something. It's just a great thing and brings smiles. And
that's cool. And you know what? It's funny because it brings me to something. What a fun little segue. I want to talk about Facebook for a second here, Paul.
Okay.
I got a little memory the other day on Facebook. It's like, hey, we've created a thing. You've been on Facebook since 2007, and yay! And it made me think. You joined Facebook at 42 plus years old. Like this year, you joined Facebook, Paul. What else? Where you been? What was it? What was your thing against Facebook?
Okay. Let me work it out for you. So I used to have Facebook years ago, right?
Okay.
But all these things that come up in the feeds and the stories and stuff, I would just get fired up, right? I'd just be like, come on, man. Like, I didn't get it. I'm like, nobody can be 100% happy all the time. And all this is like a platform for bragging, essentially. Right? Like, and I just didn't have any time for it. So I took myself out of it. But I opened this to get back into the swing of it and to help with the show. And, you know, I have a ton of family, so keeping in touch with them is nice now. But essentially that's what kept me away from Facebook. But you know what's really funny? Can I tell you this? Last night I was on it looking, and a mutual friend, more your friend than mine.
Okay. I know where you're going with this.
His name's Hal Roberts. He's in TV in Calgary. He's a great guy. When we watch the Dinger Derbies at your house, Joe, I love sitting right beside him and just shooting the breeze, man. He's an amazing person. Yeah. He did a celebrity lookalike.
Okay.
And let's get his permission to put the picture up. But I think it was 98% Hal Roberts looks like Usher.
So Hal Roberts, this big kind of like, think of a newsman on TV. Looks like dancing Usher.
Yeah.
No.
With his blonde hair.
Some of these algorithms, when I see people posting those things all the time, I'm like, I don't know that really is the case. That's why I don't do any of those, because it's like, you know, Heather every now and then will do those silly quizzes, and I'm like,
well, I did, and I'm going to tell you my results.
Who do you look like?
So I did the quiz only that asks you a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran. I don't see it. Maybe
because you trimmed your beard back a little bit.
Let me tell you, let's not even discuss that. Let's not discuss my beard trim, because
why?
Maybe I
going to discuss it now. You can't say let's not discuss it.
Okay. I used the number 1. I should have used the number 2. I can see my double chins. It brings me back to when I said, hey, does this make me look fat? And somebody says, no, your fat makes you look fat.
Oh.
So all these bad memories.
Kind. Well,
anyways, so yeah, I used the number 1 instead of the number 2.
Yeah, it's as I'm looking at you here. If you're watching on YouTube, Paul's trim from last week to this week is significant.
Yeah,
and my beard keeps getting longer.
It is. I get comments like it looks like you've given up on life, things like that. So you'll notice, and my family and friends will know this for sure. Once I get the pipe in my ear, the beep, 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 I just do it. Whatever it is, I just do it because I would rather deal with this humiliation or anything like that and not hear it. So, anyways,
it's not humiliating, but. You look fine.
Anyway,
you look fine. See, that's why I'm here. I'm here to kind of help you out and be your, your hype man.
That's it. So then I saw Ed Sheeran. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, let's try this face recognition app.
Oh no.
So I download it. Let me see how my hair looks today. So it looks all right, but it was kind of like all over the place the other night. Last night when I took the picture, picture. Guy Pearce.
Nope.
They tell me.
You know what I would have said when you did your hair like that? And if, again, sorry for the people just listening, I would have said Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
I'm glad you went there. I thought you were going to go Gary Busey. So I'm
If you were blonde, I would have given you Gary Busey.
When you see the picture of Hal versus Usher, you guys are going to understand why it makes absolutely no sense.
That's why I don't do these.
Go to our page and have a look. You have to. Because
I got to talk to Hal then. I got to talk to Hal, see if I can share it. If he's okay with it, I'll put it up. Okay. So watch the Facebook page, watch Twitter, because we'll try and get that picture up. And then you can see how ridiculous some of these Facebook quizzes are. I don't understand them. So it's ridiculous. So, yeah, whatever. Well, welcome back to Facebook, Paul, after all these years. And I'm going to be honest with you. It hasn't got much better.
Okay. And so what's up with you and Twitter?
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get Twitter. Like, I mean, like, I just never got into it because I'm like, I can't really converse with people. It's not a way. It's just people telling me what they're up to and whatever. It's like, I like Facebook because I can go back and forth, but Twitter, I'm like, I don't understand direct messaging. And you tell me the other day, I'm like, hey, maybe we should try and get this person on the show. You should direct message them on Twitter. You're like, they have to be following you. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Trust me, I'm trying to, for guests. We have a great list of guests we want to get on the show, and I'm turning over every rock to figure out how to contact these people. So
hey, we don't need guests. We got me.
It's true. It's true.
We got me and you. So speaking of me and you, this is a you time, my friend. I think last week the feedback on the dad joke of the week. By the way, those two. Radio hosts, they didn't take the bait.
Nothing.
They didn't take the bait. The radio hosts that stole our dad joke of the week concept, they didn't take the bait. No, they're scared. They're running scared.
I'm starting to wonder if people were doing this long before us.
I don't know. Maybe, but no, it's ours. So the dad joke of the week feedback was it was definitely better than the week before.
Anything is better than the week before.
Well, I mean, that's only because it was an old guy that worked at Lowe's.
So hold on. So just so everybody knows that we go live. This is a live chat, no editing, anything like that. So that joke 2 weeks ago was so bad that I did request that we re-record it because I felt it was so bad. And you're like, man, no, that takes the magic out of it.
It's magic.
So that's why you had to live through that one. So I apologize.
Hey, they're not all going to be winners, Paul.
No.
They're not all, but you know what? You're a winner. And with that, why don't you bring us the dad joke of the week?
And now, get ready to cringe. It's the dad joke of the week.
Okay.
Hey, Joe, did you hear about the kidnapping at school the other day?
No, kidnapping at school.
Don't worry, he's awake now.
Yes!
Is that all right?
You saw it coming a mile away?
Yep.
You just set it up? Home run, buddy.
Okay, I'm going to give credit to that joke writer who probably didn't write the joke at all, but she told me. So my daughter told me that one. and she passed it along. Friends of ours out in New Brunswick, Andrea and Mike Stewart.
Yeah.
And Mike says he listens every week, and he's like, "This is the winner for this week."
Yeah.
So I said, "Let's do it, man," and it's good.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's 100% good one. You're back.
Yes,
you're back. I love it. You're back. And with that, I think this is the best place to end the show on a high like that.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So, so again, don't forget to check out our Facebook page. I'm going to put some pictures up of the steaks restaurant that my kids created. We're going to talk to Hal and see if we can see how much he really looks like Usher. But please send us your stories about great, memorable concerts. We love to hear them. Doesn't matter who it is. If it was the Wiggles, good for you. If it was Sharon, Lois, and Bram, have at it. Maybe. But no, we really want to hear them because, much as I love telling my stories, I love to hear other people's stories too. So, so drop us a line on our Facebook page or on Twitter @ThoseDadGuys. I promise I'm going to put at least one picture up this week on our Instagram. We just have Instagram to have it, I think.
That's it.
So I promise I'll get one picture up this week on Instagram. But yeah, Paul, final words?
65 to 75% of the people make their bed because they're not savage.
Yeah. Apparently I am a savage, and my mom gave me trouble for not making my bed every day. So
that's that.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, have a great week. Thanks for joining us on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Play Podcasts and every other place you can find your podcast. We'll catch you next week.
See you on the flip side.